Kevin's log, Ourdate, 12/01/2025. Another look at all of the stuff that I cut up. Now it's all in one place. It looks like a little bit more. Still not enough, I'm sure. Not enough to do this whole wall, which is kind of depressing, but it'll be okay. And check this out. We got our first snow. Not very much, only about an inch. And there's already people stuck on the hills. And I was stuck on the hills earlier, so I can't say much. I was going to take the truck to the top of the hill, got it about 2/3 up the second hill, and she said, "Nope, I'm not going. Screw you. Take me home." So, took it home. Almost didn't make it back. Coming back up. Yeah, almost didn't make it back. I got frost on this side of the door. That's interesting. Look at that. But what about here? Nothing. Nothing. Just where I don't have the house wrap. It's that tells me a lot, really. That does tell me a lot. What about this? Yeah. Nope. I actually have some, even where the house wrap is, I've got some. Interesting. But only on certain. Interesting. See this, I believe. No, it looks like this is also blue. Interesting. Not necessarily in a good way, but it's only some of it. Yeah, we got it here. Huh. Oh well. Maybe OSB is not a good thing to be using as siding on the, or not siding, but as wall structure on the outside. Okay. All right. You can hear the snow melting off the roof. Drippity, which is very much planned. That's why I don't have insulation up there yet. And I'm not sure I'm ever going to put insulation up there. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. What the hell do I know? Got the fire cooking. And it feels pretty good in here. Let's see. All right, so my next step with all of these is to get them consistent straight edges. These just seem way too thin. But I'm going to use them, damn it. And then I got to separate the thicknesses, because we've got two distinct thicknesses and a few oddballs. So maybe if I can't find enough, I'm going to have to measure the wall again. No, I don't have to. It's 18 feet. Duh. Okay. See how many times. I believe that's 3.5 inches. Will go into 18 feet. Yeah, say 3.5. By the time it gets done, it'll probably be closer to 3.25, but it's a start. Question is, do I want to start doing it right now? The answer is not really. I'm not going to. Last year, it was me running up and down the hills on Herbie with bald tires, and it was very, very hard on me. So this year I don't plan on doing that. I might end up doing it with Todd's tractor. Don't want to, but I might. Simply because, you know, if it needs to be done, if it needs to be done, it needs to be done, I guess. It would be nice if somebody else would hop on the tractor and do that. But I know from last year's experience, it doesn't do a hell of a lot of good. I think there's only about an inch on the ground right now. If I could make it up the hill, I could drag it down and try to get excessive snow off of there. Did not work last year worth of shit. But also, I didn't start doing it until people had been running up and down the hills all day, at least in the morning, and it was already packed down in ice, and it didn't do hardly anything in the ice. I do have sand here this time, but when I went out there to put it in the truck, oh, it's thawing out. Okay, good. It was frozen solid. It was blocks of sand, but it's already thawing out. So I could go up there with sandbags. I'd much rather that the people going in and out just grab some bags and do it themselves, because I don't go anywhere. So Dawn's worried about getting out. She's got to be at work Thursday. Today's only Monday. So the road should actually be wore down by then. It's not supposed to snow much more. So it's a good start, at least should put people on high alert. Like I said, there's at least one truck stuck on the road right now, which I guess the best option for getting them off the road would be Todd. I think he's got a four-wheel drive truck. I think his four-wheel drive truck still runs. I don't know. It might. I didn't even ask him yesterday. Should have asked him. So that's another thing. Oh, it feels good in here. I don't want to go outside. It's 27 degrees. Yesterday, when my phone kept saying it was 53 degrees, I was like, no, it is not. It's not 53 degrees. It's cold. It is not 53 degrees. And this morning when I looked at it, it was still saying 53 degrees. I was like, what in the hell is going on? So I turned on my location, didn't change anything, reset my phone. About 10 minutes later, all of a sudden it pops up, beep. So last night it was around 26 degrees. But I didn't know that because my phone said it was 53, and I knew damn good and well it wasn't true. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. But now it's saying, it's not saying it's 27. It's saying that it is going to, no, it was saying it was 27. But it's supposed to get down to like 22? Garage is doing okay. I've had the fire cooking for a little bit, and it's not roaring. It's got some bigger logs in it, so here in about an hour when they start breaking down into ember, let's see what it looks like then. Should be a little warmer. Anyway, I got to figure out what to do with this because I did not plan very well. So maybe by tomorrow I'll have something figured out and done, and things will be moved around. Yeah, Kenny bought some gas for the tractor in case we end up using it, or both tractors, whichever one we end up using. So at least we have the ability to work on some stuff. The road. Maybe at least a flat part of the roads. Maybe that'll help us get a run at the hills. I don't know. You know, it's tough for me to see to be able to run up and down the hills anyway. But I thought I'd give it a shot while Don was at the store with Kenny. And he had quite a bit of trouble getting up too. His four-wheel drive ain't working. So, seems to be a trend. You know, remember this old guy of me. Remember the old days when you just chunk it into four-wheel drive? Now it's just a push button and half the time it doesn't work. Nice when it does work though. It is really nice to have four-wheel drive on the run as you drive. Four-wheel drive. That saved my ass one time in my 96 Ford truck when I drove off the highway to avoid hitting anybody, and drove off the embankment, and as I'm going off the embankment I hit the four-wheel drive button and slapped her down into low. Did a whole loop, came right back up exactly where I left. People were probably thinking I was a fucking idiot, but I didn't hit anybody, so that was spooky because I headed for the ditch. I hit the brakes, started to slide because it was raining, and this thing's supposed to have anti-lock. Yeah, whatever. You know, do the pumpy pump thing, but whatever. Everything happened so fast I didn't have hardly any time to think. So I pull over to the shoulder to avoid hitting the person in front of me, and the person in front of them pulled over to the shoulder to avoid hitting the person in front of them, but they got stopped. And I had to go off the road completely down the embankment and back around to avoid hitting them. So it was quite the experience. So anyway, like I said, it happened fast. Anyway, that's it. I'm gonna, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I ought to go grab some bags of sand. That's what I ought to do, and get them in here so they can, you know, warm up, because it's loosening them up. Who'd have thunk? I do not want to put a bunch of bags of sand in my shop. But you got to do what you got to do. Bumbling Fool signing off.